Hello everyone, welcome to the first episode of BrightNES, the show where I show NES games that are complete gems that somehow didn't really make it into, the big leagues like Mario and whatnot, and also give the show a really stupid name, because it was the best name I could come up with at 3 a.m. So episode 1, I wanted to talk about a game from my childhood, and sort of do a let's play of it as well, called Trog on the NES. This I played for hours as a kid, like years, and it's really addicting. Basically, what Trog is, essentially it's a game where you go from level to level, and there's 50 levels, which is pretty good for NES, I suppose. As a dinosaur that has to collect all its eggs, and then make it to a home space, which spawns after you collect all the eggs, before you get eaten by the Trogs, these caveman-looking fellas here. You play as either Bloop or Spike, Spike being the yellow one, and Bloop being the blue one. And basically, the mechanics are, you can collect eggs, you can beat up the Trogs, you can also get pineapples and other items, which are really fun. The pineapple turns you into a T-Rex, which can just automatically eat Trogs and get over traps, which I'll explain in a second. There are also those flowers there, which make you go faster, mushrooms that make you go slower, some sort of weird hot dog looking thing on fire that gives you fire breath, and the horseshoes, which give you invincibility for a short time. The time that you get invincible is reduced the further you go down the levels. Speaking of levels, unfortunately for the NES version, the one, don't know if you could even call it a flaw, but the thing that sort of annoys me is that if you want to be on the harder difficulty, you have to skip the first 3 levels, which I guess makes sense. You can't really make the first 3 levels that difficult, so you might as well just skip them, but sucks when I'm trying to do a let's play, and I want to do it on, the hard difficulty, but it doesn't show off the first 3 levels. Oh, guess it doesn't matter. Apologies for coughing, I might be doing that a lot. Ooh, perfect time to talk about these. Okay, so to the left, between the flower and the mushroom, you can see a pitfall, which again I'll explain in a second, that has squares in it. This is a time warp. When you get time warps, basically, it warps you 3 levels ahead in the game, and gives you a hell of a lot of points, and for every certain amount of points, you get a life, but I think it caps at 4. Not entirely sure. So anyway, some information about this game. Trog was, not just an NES game, it was also a MS-DOS game and an arcade game. The interesting thing about the arcade version was that it was actually claymation, which I never played as a kid, but I would have found absolutely fascinating, if I ever saw it in the arcades. Unfortunately, well, I shouldn't say unfortunately, I only played the NES game, and then actually learned that there was an arcade version, or an MS-DOS version, until I researched this yesterday for the video. Anyway, Trog was developed by Midway Games, and was released around 1990. Sorry about that. The rustling, not the sorry it was released. Acclaim, I think, were the ones that ported it to the NES and the MS-DOS in 1991, I think. Now, interesting fact is that you can see there's only 2 players. Obviously on the NES and the MS-DOS you can only have 2 players. However, in the arcade, it was actually a 4-player game, and I'm about to get eaten here. Yeah, it's pretty gruesome. You literally just end up bones. You are eaten alive in this game, literally. Crazy. But yeah, this game in the arcade was 4-player. You can see Bloop and Spike in the NES, and I believe the MS-DOS. Haven't actually seen the MS-DOS one before. But in the arcade there's a red one, called Rex, and Gwen, who I think is a green one. I think. I don't really remember, because I didn't see a 4-player, thing about it. There's not a lot of information about this game at all, even less about the actual ports of this game rather than the arcade version. So, like I say, this is really, unfortunately, not very well known, which is sad because I think that this is a really, really good NES game that I honestly think everyone should try. But you know, maybe it's not for everyone, maybe just people didn't pick it up. I know if I was going through a video game store and I saw, you know, Mario, Kirby, Mega Man, Metroid, Trog, probably would skip out on Trog. But luckily I didn't. I think originally I rented it, and then I liked it so much that that we bought it. And yeah, I played it a lot back in the day, as well as some other ones I'm going to show off in future episodes. Sorry about the jump there. I think I got a Skype call. Very professional. I'm at 1,000,000 points though, so that's something. This map is a crazy map, but not the craziest. This game does sort of switch it up. Some levels are very similar, but there are a lot of certain stages. There was the one we saw before, which is the purple one, which was just a normal one. There's also a green one, which is just normal. You got this one, the blue one, which has the donuts in it, which usually go in the middle here and make it really hard to get those in the middle unless you get an item. Or are just really fast, but then again, that's also an item. It's really funny to eat these though. There's also a jumping one, which the cavemen actually jump, which we'll get to. And then there's a beach one where you have sort of all of them mixed together. And there are also bonus maps in this one. We skipped over one when we went through the time warp, so sorry about that. I think I'll get back to that later on. But I think, not this level, but next one we're going to see the second bonus game, or the first one I guess we're going to see. There are 3 different ones. There are... the minigames are Eat the Trogs, which is... you get the pineapple power-up, the T-Rex power-up, for the entirety of the time, and you have to eat as many Trogs as you can. There's gem collecting, which you have to be as fast as you can and be strategic and collect all 40 gems. And there is the one where you have to burn as many Trogs as you can with the hot dog fire-up power. And yeah, that's pretty much it. In the ways of information online, I haven't been able to find much apart from, as I said before, the pre-mentioned, you know, arcade games. Sorry, why I skipped on that. Anyway, here's the first bonus. So the thing here is that you got a really short time limit. There's a bit of backtracking you have to do. You have to go back and forth. The best strategy here is to collect all the the power-ups, you know, when you can. I'm not gonna get any here. Yeah, I missed out on like 4 of them. So that's a shame. But you know, I think I get another chance later on. Okay, so Trog's Cave has So okay, here's the jumping, guys. When you see Trog's Cave, it's usually, I think it's always after a bonus game, and it usually shows a different way that the Trogs are going to try and kill you. So I think the first one is they're gonna make fire, and that's a new pitfall. Basically, there are a few different pitfalls. There's the actual pitfall, which you just fall down in a pit. Oh, I just got smushed. Oh, there goes my first continue. I'll talk about the continues as well later on. There's the mud trap, which is like the pitfall trap, but instead of just falling, you see your character slowly sink away. And it's really sort of sad and gruesome. Not gruesome, but sort of like, you know, he's slowly sinking to his death. And then there's the fire one, where you just step on the fire and then you turn into ash. And of course, there's the one where the Trog actually eats you. And or the Trog squishes you, or you can actually fall in the water. If you don't turn, and you actually face towards the water, and you don't have invincibility, you're gonna jump into the water, and you're gonna die. It's really annoying when you want to play this, and you have, because the NES is so old now, when you put in your controller ports, and, you know, the up button or the down button's not working, you're just gonna run straight into the water, and you're just jamming the button, trying to get him to move, but he's not moving, and he's off, and then he dies, and you waste a life. That's really annoying. Thanks, Skype. You can go away now. Cheers. You'd think I would edit this better. This is not a great first episode, but oh well. I really wanted to showcase this game off. So I guess we're just gonna have to make do with that. Now, those pads there on the corners, I didn't actually talk about, but in the last level I think I showed them off. Basically, you step on those pads, and you jump to another part of the map. And depending on how you get onto the pad, you'll jump a different way. So if you get onto the pad from the bottom, it'll fling you, I think, sideways. And if you get on it sideways, it'll flip you to either the top or the bottom, respectively, the opposite of where you are. Ah, so this map with the red water. The gimmick to this map is that the Trogs are much, much faster. Obviously, because it's only level 18 out of 50, they're not too much faster here, but as we get on later in these red water levels, they get insanely fast. Now, I did 2 attempts for this recording, wasn't able to get to level 50. I'm really sorry. There might be other videos that get to level 50. But I know when I would play this 2-player, we got to level 50, like, once every 2 or 3 run-throughs. But yeah, eventually we got well versed enough in this game that if we worked cooperatively, we could get to the 50th level. Which I don't want to spoil, and it's not that significant anyway, but we got to that level quite a few times, which was really fun. It wasn't even about, like, because this is a port of an arcade game, obviously points mean a lot in this, but to us it was just like, okay, we're gonna work together, we're gonna get to level 50. And, yeah, that's what we just tried to do for the day. Which was actually really, really fun. One player, though, I'm having a lot of trouble actually getting to level 50. Oh, that was bollocks. I would have punched him, but the detection's sort of shoddy on the fire if you're not right in front of him, so when you're turning like that. There are a lot of potholes. Someone should fix this road post-haste. Oh god, no! Ooh. Oh, yes, Trogs can fall in their own trap. They are stupid enough to smash a hole in the ground, turn around, come back, and then fall in the hole they just made. This also applies for fire that they just made, and also for mud traps that appear randomly. Like you can see here, they will fall in the mud traps. They're pretty stupid. But, yeah, they're not invulnerable to their own traps. So you can use that against them. And also, when Trogs fall into the traps are gone. Even if the animation is still playing, the trap's gone, so you can walk over it. That's a useful sort of tip. Anyway, here's the beach level, where we have the wheel, the jumping caveman, and the normal caveman, all in one. Now, you'll notice that we're not getting the wheel much. That's because there is a limit to how many Trogs can appear on screen at a time, and that is 4 Trogs. Now, you can have more wheels than Trogs, but as you saw there, the only time that the guy with the wheel came out was when one of the Trogs went through the teleporter and was off screen for a second. The limit of Trogs that can appear on screen seems to be 4. You can have a few more with the wheels, I do believe, because on level 11 there was like 6 enemies. But see there how there was only 4, and now 2 more are going to spawn. Always 4 on screen. Now, I'm not sure if that was the same on the arcade. I always thought that there were only 4 because, you know, limitations of the NES. You can't have so many moving sprites at the same time, unless you get a really weird, like, blinking effect. Which, in a game like this, would get very annoying and very, you know, eye-strainy. But I'm not sure, with as more powerful as the arcades were at the time than the home consoles, I'm wondering if you can have more than 4 Trogs on screen at a time. I'm not sure, because it might just be a gameplay thing, where it'd be too difficult to put more than 4 Trogs on screen, but I always thought it was just the limitations of the NES. Anyway, here is another one of the bonus games. This is the barbecue, where literally, you're burning these guys. Well, it's not really a barbecue, because they're turning to ash. I don't know, does anyone want their steak really, 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 really bloody well done? Because in that case, you can just scrape the ash off the barbecue, and that's your dinner. Because they're turning into little more than that, I'm telling you right now. This game is really difficult because the volcano is in the way, so you have to keep on going around and around. I think there are something like 20 Trogs on that level. I'm only saying that because I got 17, but I think there's 20, maybe 21. It was a really... one of these bonus levels has a really odd number. Anyway. Yeah, I don't know why they showed this one again. They've been doing that since, like, the first level, so I don't know why that's new. I think it's to show off the faster ones, but then again, we've also had the faster ones, so I don't, again, get it. But this map here, just the normal green and blue one, this is where the Trogs are the absolute fastest and the meanest. They will get the hit on you, they will get the drop on you faster, like, they hit really quickly, so you really got to be fast when you're punching them. They also move insanely quickly, even quicker than the ones on the red water level. So you have to be careful. Look, he was catching up, I had 3 speed boosts, and he was going to catch up with me if I kept on that course. Also, the thing to note about this one is that there are no gimmick Trogs. It's only the 4 walking Trogs, which means at all times you have 4 of these incredibly fast guys on you constantly. As you can see, that becomes a problem. This is probably one of the hardest levels in Trog. The blue water and dark green levels. I would debate that it is harder on the jumping levels, and I do lose more lives on the jumping levels, but it depends on really who's playing. And, I guess that argument is moot when later on in the game we're going to see those 2 levels, the jumping one and the green with blue water, oh come on, mixed, so they're going to be on the same map. Yeah, that's going to be insane. Anyway, I've just lost 3 lives in these last 2 levels. Not doing so well. But, in a way, the Trogs are sort of color-coded. The yellow ones in the later levels get, they hit you faster. They get the drop on you. The red ones are supposed to just move fast, but not as fast, and they also throw those, like in certain levels they'll also throw those, wheels. And the green ones, well, they just jump on you and fuck everything up. Oh well, we're halfway through. Back to the purple levels, which house the sort of fast red Trogs. I don't know why there's only 3 on screen though. That might be why. So, yeah, even though they all... Oh, game over. Shit. Alright, redo! Oh, yeah, you can put your name in. This always annoyed me, because you'd put your name in, then you'd turn off the NES, and you'd turn the NES on again, and then all the scores were gone, so it didn't matter at all. And this was before you would do your fancy Let's Plays and whatnot, so, yeah. Anyway, let's get back to the game. Let's get back to level 25, shall we? Oh, right. First of all, this is the bonus we missed. Level 7. This is a turn into a T-Rex and eat everything minigame, which, for me as a kid, was the most fun, because you're a T-Rex eating cavemen for a solid half a minute. Who doesn't want that? Well, actually, I was kind of a nerdy kid, so this one and the gem one I liked. Didn't really like the barbecue one much, but it was really fun in 2-player, the barbecue one, because instead of having to go all around the map, you would just have one person on one side and one person on the other, and then you would work together. It's like, okay, someone takes the left and the top, and I'll take the right and the bottom, and then, you know, we'll always win. Anyway, back to what we were going on before, and we're just gonna start level 22, apparently, because, I got bored. I don't know. But here's the barbecue game again. Honestly, don't remember. I don't think I won, so... Also, again, this is a reason why I don't know if it's a limitation of the NES or a gameplay mechanic to only have 4 Trogs on screen, but in the barbecue game, it is pretty difficult because no matter how many you get clumped together, you can only ever have 4 Trogs on screen, so you have to wait for more to spawn. I don't know if I got that guy. He was still fine, but he like burned. But I think I got him because it said 17 and there were 2 left, and then there was 1 guy coming out of the ground, so. Anyhow, that was almost a word. Anyway, here we are back to the really fast, insane, just nuts level. And I really could have used that horseshoe. Oh, jeez. You would not believe how tense it is when you're actually playing this game. It's amazing how, like, worked up and stressed you can get. It's just like, no, get home, get home! It's crazy. You should, if you get the chance, absolutely play this. I mean, even if you emulate it, I mean, it's not the same experience, and I don't condone emulating, unless you have a copy of the game, but, I mean, you've got to play this. It's, you gotta play it. And the reason why it's better to play it, like, you know, on an NES, or if you have an MS-DOS, or if you can find the arcade machine by some odd fucking coincidence, play it 2-player. It is an amazing 2-player game, which is rare to find on the NES in really good games, is simultaneous 2-player. This is simultaneous 2-player. It's not like, okay, one person plays one level and one person plays the other level. It's simultaneous 2-player, which, it happened obviously a lot. But in the mainstream sort of games, like if you look at Mario, that wasn't simultaneous 2-player. Mega Man wasn't 2-player. Kirby wasn't 2-player. Metroid wasn't 2-player. It was rare to find in really good games simultaneous 2-player modes. And it's really fun. Actually, I should explain. What happens in 2-player mode is that actually not all the egg colors are the same. It's actually a race. It's like a cooperative battle. There are an even number of blue eggs and yellow eggs. The goal is to be the first person to collect the eggs and go home. And, it's really funny, the animation that the losing dino does. It's just like this weird sort of like foot stomp, sort of like tantrum thing. It's really funny. Unfortunately, I couldn't show that off, because I have no friends. Well, okay, that's a lie. I had to, use an emulator to get the footage because my Hapag stopped working and wouldn't record my NES, so, woo. But yeah, it's a really fun 2-player, and it's a completely different game 2-player as well. Because it goes from being survival to being a survival battle, where you have to work with your friend, but at the same time, you got to get all the eggs and get home before them. And you can actually knock out your friend. You can punch your friend like a Trog. It won't kill them, but it'll stun them, and then they're susceptible to Trogs or whatever. So you can play this game in an arsehole-ish way. You're not going to get very far, but you can fuck over the other person enough to get them a game over. And the other person does continue while the other person gets a game over. This is usually what happened when me and my friends would play this to get to level 50. But I was going to say something, and I forgot. Too much on the mind. Something about 2-player, I'm sure. Oh, that's right. You can actually save a friend. If a Trog has knocked them out, but hasn't taken a bite out of them yet, the second player can actually knock out the Trog, and the other person will get up. However, as soon as the Trog takes its first bite out of the player, and you start to see the skeleton, even if you knock out the opponent, it's too late, and yeah, your mate still dies. The Trog's gone, but you've just got this half-eaten corpse of a friend left, so, rotten luck on that. It is doable. We've done it many times, saved him, but sometimes it's just too difficult, because you're too far away, or the Trog's too quick. These sorts of things happen. Anyway, we're getting further on in the game. We're past level 25, by the way. I don't know if I've got another continue, though. I don't know, and now it's the really fast one, so yeah, okay, so here they get insanely fast. Also, note how there are different sort of Trogs. There are ones with clubs that set fires, and there are the normal ones that just have their hands out like knife and fork sort of position. They're the ones that are just going to eat you. The ones with the clubs can also bash holes in the ground in certain places. And the ones with knives and forks just seem to fall in the water if you trick them. That's the thing. The faster they get might seem like it's good for them. However, it is easier to lead them into the water. And that's the thing as well. That Trogs can fall in the water too, not just you. And you get points for throwing them into the water. And you don't even have to touch them. Just, let them follow you for a while. They make a sharp turn near the end, and they go flying into the water. Also, that wheel just killed 2 Trogs. And I want that pineapple. Go, 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 go! Yes! Man. This game can be really crazy sometimes. Yeah. Also, I should apologize if the quality of my commentary comes out really badly. It's the first time using a new microphone, Blue Yeti. I'm used to the Blue Snowball, and this is sort of weird, and I don't really like it, and it's very, like, poppy, and I had to buy a pop filter. So, yeah. Hopefully it works out fine. If not, then there's still the game sound, and I'll just lower my stupid commentary. Anyway, here we go with the Trog eating game again. And I went right through that Trog and didn't bother to turn around and get him. Oh! I think I was trying to get all the flowers and eat them. Technique. The thing is, you really gotta balance that out. You can't go for just all the flowers and ignore them, and at the same time, you can't just go for the Trogs and ignore the flowers until it's convenient for you. You have to sort of balance that out. The reason I did it here is because all the flowers seem to be in the same place, which means it was really easy to get them. Also, my commentary is speeding up with the timer as well, because it's really nerve-wracking and I'm not gonna get them all. Oh, how many did I get? 12. I think this is the one that was like 15 or 16 or 17 or some really weird arbitrary number. Can't remember. Because I know there's 40 gems and I think there are 20 Trogs to barbecue, so I think that's the one with the weird number. Also, yes, you're gonna make fires. You've been doing that since level 8, mate. That's nothing new. Ooh, but we see the... Ooh. That's gotta burn the toes. Ouch. Yeah, also notice how every single Trog here has clubs, which means all 4 of these guys can do some serious damage. Not to mention that they're the yellow guys, which means they're really fast and really quick to hit you. And also notice now that the map is actually split into 2. This, the bonus game with the ladders isn't just a map for the bonus game, it actually becomes the map. So now you can't get across the board as easy as you can. You can't just go across the board whenever you want. Also, that was really fucking close. You have to go across the ladders to get to each section of the board. And it's only going to get worse as we go along. It's still kind of easy to use the ladders, but it is really annoying, because if there's a mushroom blocking the ladder, then you have no choice but to get it. If there's a Trog blocking the ladder, then you have no choice but to confront them. You have no other way to go. You can't take any other route. You can go back and try and get to the other ladder, but chances are there's like 3 Trogs following you. On either side. Well, not 3 Trogs on either side, but 3 Trogs in total. Damn it, I was so close to home! Started explaining things and play the game. Ah, blimey. Well. Damn. Oh, I do have a continue though. Okay, good. A really interesting fact about this game, is that when you are eaten, I can't remember, Bloop skeleton is actually a tinge of blue, and Spike skeleton is a tinge of yellow, which, nice touch. I don't know if that was just because it was easier to keep the color consistent or not, but I always liked the fact that the bones are actually different colors. Because clearly these cavemen aren't going to pick the bones clean, so obviously there'd be some sort of color, and obviously they couldn't just show blood. Come on! I was so close to home that time! That's BS! I was home! You bastard, yeah. Yeah, burp, yeah. Sod, yeah. Just get home. That was bollocks. Now I've only got 2 lives left to go through the rest of the 15 levels. Like I said, I don't get through to the 50th level. I don't think I even get to the 40th. Oh, but now it's gotten even harder. There is only one way onto the different islands now. There is only one way for the Trogs to get up to the different islands, and there's only one way for you to get up to the islands. And yet, somehow, this is not the most unfair it's gonna get. Yes, really. It's going to get worse than this. Apologies for that. Yeah, it's... okay, here we go. Now there are no ladders. No way of getting to the other island except to use the jump pads. And it is totally unfair, as I'm going to show here. Look at that! I jump from the pad, and every time you jump from the pad, it takes a minute for your Trog... well, not a minute. It takes a little bit for your Trog to, you know, get undazed, whereas the Trogs seem to do it almost instantly. Not to mention, any Trogs on the other island where you are can get to you and eat you at any time while you are dazed. You are forced, absolutely forced, to stay immobile for at least once in these levels. And the Trog's always gonna eat you when you do. That's where I lose the most lives, is in these levels, by the way. Because look at this, there's 4 Trogs down there. They're not gonna move. One of them's gonna eat me. Look at this. I jump down there and look, there's like 3 Trogs there ready to eat me. It's unfair. It's really, really unfair. It's the one thing that really pisses me off with this game, is that that's really unfair. And look, now I'm stuck. Okay. I was stuck on one tile. Actually, I did still have the horseshoe. I could have gone over it, but I didn't want to risk it. I don't want to risk any more unnecessary deaths. I'm going to punch that wheel as well. It's really hard to punch the wheel in this game because it's so quick, but it is doable. And at this point, I was just like, nope, screw this. Mash the A button. Mash the A button. Because, you know, I did not want to die. I wanted to get to at least level 40. Because this is where the maps start getting shaped interestingly. I mean, look at this. What is this? Bowser from Super Mario 64 has just come in and fucked the whole map up. And, wow, that was really clumsy fighting by me. Confused the opponent. Didn't work out too well. Oh, sorry about that. Okay, so now there's a fire on one side, Trog on the other side. Mud. Okay, now I can get back. Whew. Okay, just sprint! Oh, Jesus! Okay, just get home. Go home. Phew. I don't remember if I make it to level 40 or not. I honestly don't. It's been a week, but I think it's been like 2 weeks between recording and doing the commentary because I've been sick. So, level 39. I don't remember if I make it to 40, but, you know, hopefully I don't lose 2 lives here. I don't know, knowing me, I probably will. Okay, I was pretty slow. Oh, darn it. Wait! No! Damn it! The wheels can also save you, but it was too late. I was half a skeleton. Damn! If only that wheel was faster. Get home! No! You're kidding me! I was 1 space away from level 40. And 1 space away from getting an extra life because I was at 2.5 million points! That's bollocks! At least I beat my old score. Oh, come on, I was so close to level 40. Oh well, if you're ever able to play this game, I recommend you play it. If you can get to the last 10 levels, I recommend you play it. Guess I'm not going to spoil it, because I can't get to them without a second player, apparently. It's really fun, though. And yes, Acclaim Entertainment, right there on the title screen that I missed twice when I mentioned Melway. So, yes. Thanks for watching the first episode of BrightNES, guys. Thanks so much, and I'll see you for episode 2. Not so good on outro, so I'm just gonna go back into the mist now. Until next time.